Hello, Dimers. Welcome back to the Dropping Dimes podcast, Daily Dime series. And for today's episode, we will be talking about the 5 games today, including the historic night by the Joker, Nikola Jokic, who had 18 assists. Yes, sir, 18 big dimes by the big fella. And then for our quick dimer thoughts, we will be talking about the injury of Morant. Tough luck for the young superstar of the Memphis Grizzlies. And of course, we still have the top 5 plays of the night. The Dropping Dimes podcast starts right about now. So, good night, Dimers. Welcome back to the Dropping Dimes podcast by J.I. Dimes. Again, this is the first late night edition for the podcast. And again, if you haven't done it yet, please click on the subscribe button and hit on the notification bell so that you can follow all the episodes of the Dropping Dimes podcast. Feel free to also smash on the like button, leave a comment, and share the video. Now proceed. Okay, so again, welcome back to the Daily Dime series. This is now episode 6. First time we're gonna be having it on late night, on a late night schedule. So again, if you want to follow us, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, and Anchor. So let's now go to our travel back in time. Okay, so way back on December 28th, 1992, John Stockton, the all-time assists leader and steals leader of the NBA, recorded 20 dimes against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Jazz won 114-95, and Stockton had 20 big assists. So that's it for our travel back in time. Let's now go to our spin and dime segment. Okay, so for our Spin and Dime segment, again, this is brought to us by Sports Daily News. You can follow them at sports_daily news_. So we have 5 games today, starting with that. The Utah Jazz with a win against the Oklahoma City Thunder, 110-109. The Memphis Grizzlies beating the Brooklyn Nets, 116-111. While the Atlanta Hawks defeated the Detroit Pistons 128-120. The Portland Trail Blazers won against the Lakers 115-107. And the Denver Nuggets defeated the Houston Rockets 124-111. So let's now go to our featured games. We have 4 featured games for today, 4 out of the 5. Let's start with the first one. Okay, so let's start off with this one. Oh, there you go. Gary Trent Jr. That was the story of the game, as Gary Trent Jr. just exploded. Literally exploded against the Lakers as the Blazers defeated the Los Angeles Lakers 115-107. Thanks to that guy, Gary Trent Jr. Now proceed to the stats. Again, the Blazers defeated the Lakers 115-107. Dame Lillard had 31 points, 4 boards, and 5 assists. Gary Trent Jr., 28 big points for Gary Trent Jr. CJ McCollum, 20 points, and how about 11 dimes. LeBron James had 29 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Dennis Schroeder had 24, 4, and 4, and AD had 13, 10, and 6 for the Lakers. Now let's go to the second featured game. So this is against the Nets and the Grizzlies. Solid move there by Dylan Brooks. who had a monster game himself. Fortunately for the Grizzlies, Morant got injured. So let's now look at the stats. Grizzlies won 116 to 111. Kyle Anderson had 28 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. He continues to play well, especially now that Jaren Jackson Jr. is not around. Dylan Brooks had 24, 7, and 4, and Jonas Valanciunas had 14, 4, and 14 and 2. For the Nets, Caris LeVert had 28, 4, and 11. Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot had 21, 6, and 2. And Joe Harris had 14, 8, and 3. Kyrie and Kevin Durant, by the way, did not play. And Ja Morant, as mentioned, got injured. Now let's go to the third game. Okay, the third game, Nikola Jokic was just a beast. 18 dimes, another triple-double for the big fella. This guy just keeps on balling, and I'm very grateful that I have him on my fantasy league team. He is just simply amazing, you know, the way he's moving and he's just finding ways to contribute. Look at that. Nikola the Joker Jokic. What a game for the big fella. As the Nuggets defeated the Rockets 124 to 111. Jokic had 19, 12, and 18. Jamal Murray 21, 5, and 2. And the veteran Paul Millsap with 19 points and 3 rebounds for the Rockets. Regardless of what we say, James Harden, this guy is such a baller. My goodness, 34, 6, and 8. And then Christian Wood continues to show that he really deserves that big contract. He had 23 points, and David and Nwaba had 14 to add for the Rockets. Unfortunately, they lost by 13. And now let's go to our final featured game. The Atlanta Hawks. Look at that nice block, and then this super nice finish by Trae Young as the Hawks continue to live up to the hype. The Hawks stats. The Hawks beat the Pistons 128 to 120. Trae Young had 29 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists. Bogdan Bogdanovic 17, 5, and 5. And my man John Collins had 15 and 5. I do need to, come on, Mr. Collins. I know you can rebound more than 5 though. And then for the Pistons, Jeremy Grant continues to ball 27 and 6. And how about this guy, Josh Jackson? He's starting to ball. Had 19 points last time. This time, 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. And DeLon Wright playing again for his former coach. Right? He was former Toronto Raptor. And he's now playing again for his former coach here in Detroit, having 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists for Dwayne Casey. Unfortunately, they lost. So that's it for our Pin and Dime. Again, thank you to Sports Daily News for the updates and for the stats. Again, please follow them on Instagram. Now go to our quick timer thoughts. So this is our quick timer thoughts. This is how we dime. Okay, so for today we'll be talking about none other than the Memphis Grizzlies superstar Ja Morant. I'm very sure my former professor Diego Ochimar is very disappointed here because of this very, very unfortunate injury for Ja. Prayers up for him. The injury did not look good at all. Wishing Ja all the best, man. I hope he recovers well and he recovers fast. What are the implications now for the Grizzlies? They practically are going to be playing without Jaren Jackson, Morant and Justice Winslow. That does not look good for the Grizzlies at all. And then, of course, Tyus Jones is expected to come in and play, but Tyus Jones is no Morant. All I can say is that this is really tough. Morant is playing outstanding basketball, playing like a superstar, bringing all the excitement to Memphis and to that fan base. They even have this new hashtag like Grizz Next Gen, something like that. Hashtag Grizz Next Gen. And for them to lose Morant here, we can just hope that it's really something that he can recover from. These ankle injuries are very tricky. I remember very well how it messed up the career of Grant Hill, right? So for Ja, make sure you're okay, make sure you recover well. Really tough, especially for a guy like him you know, with his style, the explosiveness, the way he drives to the basket, the way he explodes, playing above the rim, below the rim at times. So all we can really hope for as basketball fans is hopefully Ja recovers and gets back on the court. Not just sooner, but hopefully he's gonna be 100% okay by the time he steps on the floor. So again, prayers up for Ja Morant. Let's now proceed to our top plays for the day. So here are the top plays of the night. This is of course my favorite segment, the top plays of the night. Let's start at number 5. At number 5, we have Gorgie Jang sending that back. No way, Jared Allen. Gorgie Jang. Like this. Nice. And now let's go to number 4. At number 4, we have Donovan Mitchell. We were not able to feature this, but they won by a point thanks to this go-ahead bucket by the Utah Jazz's superstar player, Donovan Mitchell. Look at that floater. And now we have at number 3. Oh, it's the king himself with a steal. And then the breakaway dunk by LeBron James. Unbelievable that he's still doing this in year 18. So let's now go to number 2. At number 2, we have, Jamal Buckets Murray. So these are all his 3-pointers against the Houston Rockets. Congratulations to Jamal. He is now the 3rd all-time leading 3-point shooter in Denver Nuggets history. Thanks to these major buckets here against the Rockets. Look at that. Ooh, the silk for Jamal Murray. See that again. Look at the sidestep and then money. Cash, money. Oh, we have one more here from Jamal. Screen by Jokic. Money. Oh, let's now go to number 1. And then, of course, at number 1, this play is trending. Derrick Jones Jr. Oh, denying the king. What a block by Derrick Jones Jr. No way, King James. Oh, what a block by Derrick Jones Jr. And those are the top plays of the night. Thank you, Derrick Jones Jr. What a block. Okay, so now we go to our shout-outs. So for our shout-outs, again, many thanks to Snuggle Moments PH. Thank you, Snuggle Moments PH. Yo and Yes. Thank you as well. Would also like to thank our other major supporters like T-Shirt Printing Manila. That's Bago T-Shirt Printing Manila. and then Iskina Cebu Enlex, and also Gift Mo PH. Many thanks for always supporting the podcast. And then I always forget to thank, this guy who's been very supportive also. First, thank you to Sports Daily News, Shine Sport 2. Always forgetting to mention Shine Sport 2. Very supportive since day one as well on Instagram. And then shout out also to, as promised, I promised them, especially because, they even entertained my trade proposals during the fantasy league. I told them this was the only thing I could offer them. So again, special shout out, even though he doesn't really need any of this because he's now one of the most popular people in the country. The heart and soul of Linya Linya. Special shout out to Ali Sanggalang, and then shout out also to the guy who schooled me last week in fantasy basketball, Mark Gregory Villanueva. And then shout out as well to Manitang Lao. Who else? Dan Napa and Miguel Estepa, and of course my main man, Kevin Cruz. I'm not really well right now in fantasy basketball, but that's okay. Let's just keep on trying. Okay, so let's now proceed to this one. Yeah, so if you haven't done it yet, again, please subscribe. Please subscribe and click on the notification bell. We kind of got stuck at 519. We're hoping that, the number will start growing again. And then you can hit on, please do not hesitate also to hit on the like button, leave a comment, and share the video as well. So again, many thanks to everyone. I know it's kind of late, or you had some other more important responsibilities to do. Again, we'll see you on the next episode. I'll probably release an early episode tomorrow. Because again, there's some stuff that I have to do. Again, we'll see you again on the next episode of the Dropping Dimes Podcast Daily Dimes Series. This is J.I. Dimes saying the Joker ain't joking at all when it comes to him balling. We'll see you on the next episode. Keep safe, everyone.